citizens here, the media landscape. You are welcome to this very important and impromptu press conference that has been called under the banner of the Revolutionary National Union of the Indomitable Mighty Congress of Democratic Change, led by our WATCH Chairman Emmanuel Mulbah Johnson. As you may be aware, a group under the banner of concerned citizens a couple of days ago announced a protest action at the National Legislature in respect of the rule of law. And this protest action was been organized by the John Zimbabwe and other like-minded Liberians that cut across different political parties. They simply assembled on the guardian of Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution that gives the right to any citizen or group of citizens to peacefully assemble and petition their government as the sole desire. So as early as 6 a.m. this morning, we saw scores of Liberians from diverse backgrounds beyond political party lines. They converged up Capitol Hill to petition their government peacefully. However, they were met with resistance, very stiff one, and they were brutalized. They were used, and there was lethal force, both lethal and non-lethal force used against them. Tear gas was fired. It is to our understanding as well that live bullets were fired as well. Several of our citizens were brutalized. Some are currently lying in hospitals. As we speak, others are behind bars at different police depots. Others have been taken to unknown destinations. We have also been told that others have been injected with some substances. This is scary for our democracy. Every citizen has the right to protest on a peaceful atmosphere to petition the government. Under the then CDC-led government, led by President George Emmanuel Mulbah, you were here, you saw citizens were allowed to freely express themselves in a very democratic and amicable manner. There were instances where police was instructed to provide food and water for the protesters that were petitioning the government on issues they felt aggrieved by against their own government. The government they were protesting against provided them the very cool atmosphere that enabled them to express themselves. What we are seeing on Burga's regime is completely contrary to what existed under the then regime of President George Emmanuel Mulbah. So the Youth League has assembled here this afternoon under the direct stewardship of our chairman, who will address the media and the Liberian people on current happenings up Capitol Hill and the police brutality against peaceful citizens of our country. So against this backdrop, ladies and gentlemen of the press and Liberian people that are following, I have the distinct honor now and privilege to present to you the most powerful young man in the Republic of Liberia, the man who presides all the tripartite session and cross session of the Indomitable Revolutionary National Union of the Mighty Congress of Democratic Change. Chairman Emmanuel Mulbah Johnson will speak to you, the press, and the Liberian people in general.
So we want to say thank you so much to the Vice Chair for Inter-Party Affairs of the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change. We want to appreciate you, member of the Folk Estate, for providing us the opportunity to transmit our information to the Liberian people and to also be able to remind Mr. Bwaka that Liberia did not start with him. So we want to say thank you. We want to welcome you into the conference room, the Revolutionary Hall of the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change. We want to congratulate and appreciate peaceful Liberians for exercising their constitutional responsibility as being guaranteed in Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution. We want to, on this note, categorically condemn in all form, manner, and strongest term the excessive, brutal, and irresponsible force used by the Liberia National Police under the stewardship of Inspector General Gregory Coleman, under the instruction of Mr. Joseph Boaka. And we also want to use this opportunity to call on the Liberia National Police to immediately and unequivocally release militants, citizens of the Republic of Liberia, and give the Liberia National Police and the government of Liberia a 48 hours ultimatum to release these Liberians or experience an unimaginable, unspecified, unequivocal consequences by the Revolutionary National Youth League. And that is very clear. The Youth League will officially issue a statement. We believe that in a society like Liberia, law and order should be a fundamental essence of the day. We believe that no government should contravene or undermine rules and order of our country. We believe that no government should undermine the Constitution that governs the Republic. If the law is being violated by the government, it sends a negative picture to all Liberians. It means that our society is lawless. It means that the family that we have in homes going to disintegrate. Because family should and must follow law and order in the home. So if the government that should be responsible and behaving very irresponsible and not respecting the order of the day, we think Mr. Boaka should rethink his decision and should release those Liberians, those young Liberians who have come out to exercise their rights as being guaranteed by the Constitution. We are aware that live bullets were being shot at Liberians. We are aware that some Liberians have been terribly injured. And we want to say to our international community and to international human rights organizations not to just document what has happened, but to institute terror, to institute a terrible measure, a measure that must go down in response of this government that seeks to protect the rights and privilege of the young people. We want to say the inception of this regime has witnessed a lot. We have witnessed extrajudicial killing. Of recent, we saw the death, the legless valley of Comrade Abraham Doon. We have seen the death and the massacre of our people in King George. We have seen too many situations that speak to a lawless country. This is a terrible reflection in our country. And we want to say to the Liberian people that they should stand up. The Liberian people should rise up now and rally to ensure that Mr. Mulbah put an end to his behavior. We also want to say in the stronger terms that the Youth League will officially be coming up with several street actions. And these street actions is meant to teach Mr. Mulbah a lesson that if he cannot respect the rules and the law of our land, he must be made to step aside. And the Youth League will formally communicate that to the Liberian people. We have witnessed too many lawlessness. The country is on a free fall. The government has instituted terror against the people of the land. Our country is degenerating. It's so sad that in this era, in this time, day and age, that citizens are living in fear. We are worried. What happens in the community if you've been offended? Who do you take a complaint to? We are afraid and fear for our life that we cannot even go to the police to handle simple matter in the community, because the police that should be protecting life and property have been involved into brutality and violence attack against peaceful citizens. Our society is degenerating. We are worried as Liberians. And so we want to say to you, member of the Fourth Estate, that the Youth League will ensure that it provides the sanctity that is necessary for the governance of the state. Mr. Mulbah have told several lies to the Liberian people. They are living in hardship. There is suffering everywhere. The prices of goods and services have skyrocketed. Liberian people are even contemplating on how the Christmas will be. And we are seeing that in the eyes of these terrible circumstances. Mr. Mulbah has decided to instruct the police to brutalize peaceful citizens. All it's been told is that opposition's view of disagreement are not respected or are not considered in the country. We want to say we cannot be in this country that opposition views and disagreement dissent are not respected. We want to say we challenge the United Party-led government that we will never allow that to happen. And that's why the Youth League will come out clearly to the Liberian people and stand in defense of the Liberian people. The Inspector General of Police, Gabriel Coleman, has said that 70 Liberians have been arrested. We want to say more than 70 Liberians have been arbitrarily arrested. We are aware that more than 70 Liberians have been arbitrarily arrested. Why would you arrest someone when a peacefully assembled? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you violate their constitutional rights to assemble? Why would you do that? Mr. Mulbah wants to say to you that the days are numbers. The days are numbers. And all we want to say in more clear tone, that the police must understand that they must disengage from being partisan police. The police must be the police of Liberian people. The police must not target specific numbers of Liberians because of their political dissent. It must never happen. The police, whether young people are seditions, or from the Liberty Party or the Unity Party, must be respected as Liberians. Gabriel Coleman, you have yourself to be on record. You have yourself to be on record, because we will communicate to international human rights organizations to institute sanctions on you in the legs of those who support you to institute terror and brutality on the Liberian people. We want to say thank you ever so much distinguished member of the Folk Estate, for coming. As we have been told that there have been substances injected in some of our people, we are worried, we are concerned about them. We are concerned about their well-being, the state of their mental health. We are concerned. We are worried about our country. The path they have taken, the trend our country has taken, we are worried as young people. We as young people should be aware that we are in a country where the government must be able to be the first line of protecting the Constitution. But what should young people do if the government that should be protecting the Constitution is violating the Constitution? We are worried. What should we do as young people if the government that should be instituting law and order is being lawless? What should we do? What should we do as young people if the government that is expected not to be involved into extrajudicial killing is involved into killing peaceful citizens? Young people are disappearing. Young people are disappearing. We are worried, ladies and gentlemen of the folk estates. And we are concerned about you too, journalists. As young people, we're concerned about you. Because as you're taking this communication forth to the Liberian people, we are worried about you, your safety, your security. And we say, one of those days, never ever, we shall be in this country and see lawlessness being perpetrated by this government. Mr. Walker, we will stay in defense of the Liberian people. We are prepared to go down in history. We are prepared to go down in history as one of those who have stood against lawlessness and unconstitutional engagement. Because we are aware. We are aware of your machinations. We are aware of your tactics to degenerate our country into lawlessness. You have subverted the gains that this country has made over the years. We saw in the previous administration of His Excellency President George Mulbah, peaceful protesters were being given food. Were being given food. What we see under the administration of Joseph Walker is contrary. It's worrisome. But again, the Youth League will step out. Like we said, gone are those days where we have press conferences. The Youth League will be involved into street actions that will compel the government to respect the Constitution of the land. If you refuse to respect the Constitution, you will be made to respect the Constitution. And that is to Mr. Walker. Because it's clear that the government did not even communicate to the Liberian people that Mr. Walker should have visited the legislature today. But the calculation of Mr. Walker visiting the legislature today was to instruct the police inspector general to declare terror, to brutalize peaceful citizens. And we are seeing that. We are seeing that. And so Mr. Walker, I want to say to you that you have to stop. You have to stop what you are doing. You have to stop. We have received several threats. We have received several threats from supporters of the Unity Party on our lives. We have received several threats from supporters of the Unity Party on our life. But we want to say to the international community that we are documenting these things to communicate it properly to human rights organizations. That the government no longer respects the rights of its citizens. That the government have refused vehemently that no citizens are allowed to disagree in Liberia. Liberia has been drawn into tyranny. Despotism have been the center, or has become the center of the day, where citizens are not allowed to disagree, where oppositions are not allowed to disagree, where everybody are allowed to be in submission to despotism, to tyranny. And we say we will never allow that to happen. We say thank you ever so much for this opportunity. May God richly bless you. Thank you. Thank you. So we all listen to the chairman of the Youth League.
It began by condemning police brutality against the assembly of peaceful Liberian citizens who assembled as early as 6 o'clock this morning to petition the government. They are protected by the Liberian Constitution, Article 17. He also asked that the police release all of those who were arrested. Over 70 of them were arbitrarily arrested. Some were severely injured and are then hospitalized. Some were injected and taken to unknown destinations. So over 70 of them, we're asking the government to make them available, release them, because they are in prison as well. And all of the lawlessness that has been exhibited by the government, the chairman summed it up, and he provided a clear direction that the youth league in the coming days or weeks will be into a series of street actions to compel the government to respect the rule of law, to respect the Constitution. So with that said, we entertain maximum 3 concerns, and those concerns should be in the confine of the issues that were spoken to by the chairman. So we take 1, 2, 3, the 3 hands that are up.
So thank you, Chairman. I'm Elijah Pine, and I report for 14th delegation. You allow consequences to be taken, resulting into street actions. To be specific, what are the street actions I'm talking about? Are you going to go put up against the government in response to being able to rescue yourself and the rule of law that you're talking about?
Well, we.
Yeah, so the condemnation of arbitrary arrest. My name is Christopher Bestman, and I report for Force of Liberia. Mr. Chairman, today we witnessed Representative Frank Salfoko stand to be correct. I think he is the Secretary General of the Party Legislative Caucus. We also saw Representative Eugene Colley from District Number 4, Ball County, within a protest, who is also a member, legitimate member of the Coalition for Democratic Change, and we also saw Honorable Yeka Kolba, who's part of this entire opposition process together. But now, your critics believe that this entire protest has been orchestrated by folks and staffers of the CDC. You clarify that with us, and follow up to that, you also talked about some unity partisans who have been making threatening remarks on your life, and you clear to disclose that to the public so that others can help. They see the Liberian National Police can come in and see how best they can provide some security for you.
We'll take the last concern and the chairman respond to.
So I'm requesting from TN News Liberia. Since the term, your police were termed as we are police. Now we are terming the Liberian National Police as backup police. In overall, what are you trying to say to Liberian people?
So thank you for the question, Chairman.
Yeah, we want to say thank you so much. So we begin with the first question. We want to say the Youth League believe in the rule of law. The Youth League believe in freedom, democracy, not just democracy, but true democracy. And so we'll get ourselves involved with actions that is protected by the Constitution. The Constitution provides us our rights, which is guaranteed in Article 17. To assemble, we will assemble in unspecified locations. The date of our street actions will be unannounced. The public will be strategically aware of those growing situations in our country, because we are aware that we've been receiving, and I will just connect with your question, we've been receiving multiple threats from agents of the regime on our lives. We should be running to the police, because the police should protect life and property. But we are afraid of our life. We have fear, because even the police is not neutral as it should be. So the police have now turned to a partisan police, under the instruction of Mr. Bouaka, and their actions have been clearly seen as in contradiction to the tenets of democracy. We saw the Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman holding book in hand after instructing people to cause violence, after instructing terrorists, after brutalizing peaceful citizens. You hold book in your hand. But the book you hold in your hand said, these people have the rights. It's a reflection of the Constitution or the decency of your police administration that say you should protect life and property. But contrary to that, you are not protecting life and property. You are brutalizing citizens. We saw live ammunition. We saw a bullet on the legs of one of the comrades. We saw that multiple tear gas were being fired at them. Water cannon were being shot at them. We saw these things. But again, we said to the police that we will document the threats that we have been receiving from agents of the United Party to submit it to the U.S. Embassy and as well as international human rights organizations. We intended saying that the president should immediately dismiss the Inspector General Gregory Coleman, but the president is also a proponent of lawlessness. So he feels happy, he feels excited for citizens to go down bleeding in blood. We saw that today, and we are disappointed. We are disappointed that the government, the only language that the government understands is brutality, is violence. We are really disappointed because this government made us understand that they were a rescue government. How can a rescue government turn into a brutal government where citizens' lives are in jeopardy? It worries us. It worries us a whole lot. So again, our actions will not be announced. We will involve ourselves into multiple street actions after what we have seen, and we want to encourage all other organizations, student groupings. We want to encourage you that we wrote in our op-ed, we say rise and rally. We want to encourage you to stand up against this tyranny, to stand up against this lawlessness. We are aware that some medical practitioners, some health workers are intending to stage a peaceful protest as well. And we want to say to this government and attempt that any health worker to experience any brutality, there will be an unspecified consequences by the Revolutionary National Youth League. These health workers, their rights are guaranteed by Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution. They have the right to assemble. So if you come out to brutalize them, we will come in our defense. Do not ask for how. We will come in our defense. We can protect ourselves. We have been protecting ourselves. We know that the state is no longer protecting us. Last night we were being taped by plainclothes security officers. Today we are here. We will continue to remain here until the insensitivity of this government is being compared to respect the rule of law. If a government that should respect order cannot respect order, we will compare them to respect the order of the day. And so it's clear. You asked me about why I think the police is being considered as a partisan police. You see, it's very obvious. You see, it's very obvious. The police are brutalizing peaceful citizens, some of whom are seditious. Some of whom are seditious. We saw the Secretary General, like you said, of the CDC Legislative Caucus, Honorable Francis Afoko, who went to the Capitol building on his way with his supporters, with partisans, of the CDC, he was being greeted with violence, with brutality. First time in the history of our country for a lawmaker to be violently brutalized by police. The police is the police forgetting to understand that the legislature is the first branch of government. I think it should be. But if the police are taking instructions from Mr. Bwaka to brutalize legislators, it's a sad day for our country. And constitutional democrats must stand up. We encourage civil society organizations to stand up against this tyranny. We encourage student grouping, young people to stand up against this tyranny. We must do that now or never. We say thank you very much.
Any clarification on the protest being initiated by a hierarchy of the CDC?
No. The protest, the actions, the peaceful assembly was never organized by the CDC. The CDC supports the rights and privileges of Liberians to peacefully assemble, has been guaranteed by Article 17 of the Constitution. But Mr. Bwaka is insensitive. He does not like disagreement. Look at him. The old man does not like disagreement. He does not like individuals to disagree with him. Least to even expect organizations or statutory institutions. So he get amok. He feel rebellious. He brutalize citizens. I want to say to Mr. Bwaka that his days are numbered. And in defense of the Liberian people, we will stand up. If it means our life, so be it. But we will stand up against this tyranny, against the despotism. This country is a constitutional country. Even in the home is being governed by rules and policy and laws. If the government is violating the Constitution, our homes will be degenerated. You will find children disagreeing with their parents disrespectfully. That's what you will see. You will see students in high schools cheating. That's what you will see. We don't want these things to happen. We are tired of lawlessness. We are tired of violence. We are tired of brutality. So the CDC was not involved as heading protest, no. But the CDC support all well-meaning Liberians to peacefully assemble, as we are also supporting the health practitioner to peacefully assemble. They have the right as guaranteed by the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The voice of the chairperson of the